Ladypreneurs, I'm Elise Smith, your faith-based business coach, and you're tuned in to Divinely Driven Results on Transformation Talk Radio, where you learn and implement divine strategies for real results in your business. Now, ladies, are we using the resources that God has given us to the best of our ability? Or maybe we need a little bit more knowledge to be able to take us to the next level. See, Facebook, for example, you may just be scratching the surface on what an incredible tool and gift that God has given us to grow your business. So on today's show, we're going to empower you with tools and ideas on how to make the most out of your Facebook account in growing your business in the Lord's way. And be sure to tune in all the way to the end because you're not going to want to miss my incredible social media expert, Dottie Eller, who's going to show us some great features that Facebook has now added due to the coronavirus and everything that's happening in our world that you may not even be aware of yet. So let's start here first off with how you feel about Facebook. Does it give you dread to think about Facebook, or do you absolutely love it? And the thing is that, you know, we want to look at it as a tool, as a gift that we've been given from God. And we want to be able to really take advantage of the resources that He has given us. And the best way to do that is just to learn more about them. So we're going to talk about a bunch of different things here today, and I want something to stand out to you. So even if it's just one thing, I want you to take back to your own Facebook account and figure out how you can make it work for you and your business. So first off, what does your Facebook page, group, business page, profile, whatever that is, what does that say to your divine client, customer, or audience? You know, one of the best ways that you can kind of litmus test this is scroll through your own group or your own page or your own profile and just come up with a few words that describe what you see. I try to make mine very positive. I try to give a lot of inspiration and guidance, but also I want to give you real tools and techniques that are going to help you move your business forward. Even in my own personal page, I try to not only give, you know, great techniques and inspiration, but I also try to share a little bit more about myself. There was a time, and believe me, I'm not an expert in this. That is why we are getting Dottie at the end here, because she is an expert in social media. But I can just share with you a little bit of my experiences and what my clients have experienced as well when it comes to social media, is that you want to be a little vulnerable. And that can be hard, especially as you're growing your Facebook list and friends list, and you've got, you know, maybe thousands of people who you don't even know and they don't even know you, and you're maybe sharing some of the things that are in your heart and your soul with them. But that is where true connection lies. Sometimes we put up this front, right? That like, and believe me, I'm definitely guilty of this, that we are the perfect business coach, right? And that I have all these amazing things that I can teach you, and you should come to me about, you know, I'm the expert. But the thing is that that's great. And there's definitely a part of our business where we need to be an expert, or we need to know what we're doing, be knowledgeable and experienced. But then there's the know, like, and trust factor. And the only way that they can get to know you is if you share about yourself. And, you know, for a long time, I had an issue with this because probably due to my childhood or whatever, right? Is that I didn't feel like people wanted to hear my stories. And I didn't realize how impactful my stories could be. And so one of the greatest things that you can do on Facebook is, one, be real, right? If you mess up on a live video, oh well, you know what I mean? Or, you know, if you are telling a story and, you know, it doesn't get the impact that you're looking for, it's okay. I believe 100% that we are prompted by our Heavenly Father, by that Holy Spirit, to post things when we do. Right? And it doesn't matter if it's like pre-scheduled or whatever, like everything happens for a reason. And that if you feel prompted to do a live video or make a post, do it. because somebody needs to hear that message from you right then and there. And isn't that so amazing that God gives us that tool to stay connected with so many people? I'm talking with a lady in the Philippines right now that if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't be able to chat with her. I wouldn't even know her. And so let's use that to our advantage. So many times when I'm working with marketing with my clients, we're talking about social media and it's like, I just don't know what to post. You ever fall into that category? Or you compare. You look at other people and you're like, oh man, their posts are absolutely gorgeous and amazing, and I could never do that, or they're posting like 3 times a day and I can only do like 2 times a week. I don't want you to compare, and neither does God, because you are you, and you need to be you, and you're going to attract the people you are meant to serve by being you, and by opening up and by loving on them and sharing what you have, and just being that positive influence for them. But if you need a few ideas for posting, here's a couple. One, check out postplanner.com. This is an incredible tool that I didn't know this, but most of Facebook content, and probably with most of social media in general, is all like already created and reshared. Like we're just recycling the same stuff over and over and over again. So why not find the things that are getting the most likes and getting the most comments and are really fitting your industry? And that's exactly what Post Planner can do for you. You type in like women entrepreneurs or dog treats, or dog nutrition, or whatever it is, right? And it will actually show you the most most shared, there we go, content in your industry. And then it also hooks up to Facebook and I think some of your other social media platforms. You'll have to check that out, so that you can reshare that automatically, which is awesome because you already know that these things are getting great responses through other people who are sharing them. And so that's a great tool. You can also link it to canva.com, which I'd highly recommend you're using Canva to create your own graphics and things like that. But share, reshare, like that kind of stuff goes around. So check out postplanner.com. I was doing some research here, and it says we always see like different post sizes, right? There's those novels that you have to just scroll through for quite some time. And I'm not a big fan of those, to be honest, just because I think we all live in an instantaneous society. But then there's like Twitter that's like really, really short. So according to BuzzSumo, the ideal length for a Facebook post is less than 80 characters. And that actually receives 66% more engagement. So take a look at your posts and see where that length is for you. Is that longer than what you're used to? Is that shorter? And I think variety is always good anyway, but kind of just throwing it out there and seeing what that looks like for you. And then when we're looking at our social media, like, are we giving content? The number one thing that we need to do is add value to our audience. So what can you do to add value to your audience? And not just so much in the way that I think I'm going to add value, but what do they really need right now? When you think about Jesus and the parables that he taught, he didn't just talk about whatever he wanted to talk about. He talked about what they needed to hear. And of course, he used the Spirit in doing so. And so when you're planning out your social media, ask Heavenly Father, ask the Holy Spirit to be with you, to know what your audience needs and when. And that way you can really tune into their needs and give them what they need and what they want. And even if you serve just one person with your post, even if it gets no likes or loves or no comments whatsoever, people are always watching. They are. And I've had so many people come up to me and say, oh, you posted exactly what I needed, or that video is exactly what I needed. But the thing is they didn't comment or like or anything like that. And so I want you to just keep that in mind, is that just because we're not seeing the interaction, which of course we want to have because it helps with Facebook algorithms and that type of thing, but just know that you are making a difference, and keep going, girl, because you are adding tremendous value. But with us doing all this value add, when do we pitch our own product or service? And there is the 80-20 rule, I'm sure you guys have heard of. So we want to focus on 80% content, which should at least be 10 to 15% of you. People want to get to know you. And so tell them about your dog, tell them about your family, tell them about, your childhood stories. And if you can relate it into your product or service, that's awesome. But, think about the people that you follow, that you regularly watch on Facebook. I have a friend who I don't even need to like turn on the sound on her video because she's so animated and she's just so loving that I love watching her. She's she's like a magnet to me. And so think about the people that you like watching and following and try to pick up some of those characteristics and attributes, or see how you can use your own attributes to do those same types of things. How can you bring people in? And a lot of that time it's because they're real, and it's because they're sharing who they are and what they're going through. Not that you need to air out your dirty laundry on Facebook or social media, but be real with people. And that goes a long way. So 80% content, the other is 20% sales. And it's really great to do this in a way that's going to completely value that person who's watching it, right? So maybe you give a little live video and then at the end you say, just like I do, if you want more information about this, I'd love to offer you a free strategy session. So let's hop on a phone call and we can dive into your business and blah, 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 right? If you kind of subtly put that in, that's awesome. There are times you can absolutely post it out there and say, hey, I'm doing this amazing flash sale, like make sure you get in on it. But we've all been friends with some of those people who it's like 80% sales and 20% content. And we tend to start unfriending or not paying attention to their posts anymore. So watch 80% content and 20% sales. It is okay to sell on Facebook, but make sure you're doing it in a what's in it for them way. If you're going to talk about your product or service, make sure you're connecting with their actual need and showing them how that's going to be of value. So think about that for sure. So if you're posting once a day, which is I think the preferred for Facebook, right? Posting once a day, then over 7 days, that means that you would probably put in some kind of sales something once a week. So that's not so bad, right? Not so scary, and not so, sometimes we worry about being spammy. You're not going to be spammy with that. Okay, let's continue on about posting here. So content categories. You can post a blog post, one of yours or somebody else's. You can post a question. Those are super, super easy. And you can look them up on Facebook, like get to know you type questions. And that's going to be really great. Questions are usually best interaction wise. Like they really are, like people like to interact with questions that are easy to answer. Like if you say, what's your favorite color? You're going to get a ton of responses because people can type in blue real quick. Or how many kids do you have? 2. Like it's really, really easy to be able to respond to those types of questions. And you've got to warm up your audience a little bit. Sometimes we try to go in for those deep, dark questions, and then we get crickets. And so you want to kind of start with like the easy ones and the get to know you kind of questions. And then if you want to go in deeper, then you can kind of start subtly moving your group or your Facebook page or whatever that is into that. But questions are great. I would encourage you to ask a question at least once a week so you can get that interaction. Because if you don't know how Facebook works, it's all about the interaction, the comments, the likes. That algorithm is going to help you to be seen by more people when you get more interaction. Reshare other people's content. Make sure you're doing inspiring content. Give tips and tricks, right? Contests and giveaways, promotions, and pretty much anything else. Like this is your platform. This is your way to get your voice out. And I would highly recommend scheduling your post beforehand. Sit down for like a couple of hours and knock out the first couple of weeks so you don't have to think about it all the time. And I use Hootsuite for that. I think you can use things like Buffer, Post Planner. I think we'll also do that for you as well. And there are so many other tips and tricks that we can give you for Facebook. So if you want more, and especially some that can help you to customize it to your exact business, please book a strategy session with me on divinelydrivenresults.com. And we can walk through your exact business and what you need and help you to be able to take real action on getting the most out of your social media account. So let's do that. And we're going to take a quick break. And in a moment, we're going to be back with the amazing Dottie Eller, where she's going to talk about some new features that have been added to Facebook, including Facebook Shop. So you are not going to want to miss this. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you after the break. Hi, Ladypreneurs. I'm Elise Smith, your faith-based business coach, and you're tuned in to Divinely Driven Results on Transformation Talk Radio, where you learn and implement divine strategies for real results in your business. And I want to ask you, how many features are you using in Facebook right now? We all know that we need to be on social media, especially at this time where we don't have a lot of face-to-face interaction. So are you leaving some of those features behind because maybe you just aren't sure how to use them? Well, today we have an incredible guest. She is actually my own social media manager who I absolutely adore. This is Dottie Eller, and she is a faith-based social media manager. And she's going to give us some amazing tips on how we can really make the most out of our Facebook page and groups and all of that. So Dottie, I'm so happy to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Elise. It's great to be here.
Awesome. You are not going to want to miss this. It's amazing. So tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Sure. So I am the founder of Christian Women Abundant Business, as well as the owner of DeMarie Virtual Assistant Services, where I provide social media tips and support for faith-based women entrepreneurs.
Yeah, love it. And she's incredible at it. I've been working with her, oh gosh, maybe over a year now. I don't even remember. I can't imagine Dottie without, like, my business without Dottie. So if you're looking for social
And I feel the same.
Oh, you're so awesome. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about why you chose to speak on this topic today.
Sure. So with all the coronavirus and, nationwide, things are being shut down and there's less face-to-face contact. Facebook has come out with many features to keep business owners in contact with their clients and customers. And so there's been so much new things being released by Facebook. I don't think that that many people know all of them.
That's for sure. I know when you started talking to me about some of these things that Facebook added, I was like, whoa, I never even heard of that before. So this is going to be a real treat. So tell us a little bit more about those tools that we can use in our business.
Sure. So, like I said, Facebook started this initiative to release different services and things like that to stay connected, like I mentioned just before. So one way to do that is you can, of course, share updates, but one way that they have started more specifically doing this is if your services have changed or your business hours have changed, you can go into Facebook and you can make temporary changes and note that so your clients and customers know when to contact you and when you're still available.
That's good. Yeah, I think because a lot of times we're wondering, like, okay, what businesses are still open and what are their new hours? Like we're looking at a restaurant the other day and we're like, I don't even know if it's open. So perfect. That's great. We want to keep in contact with them that way for sure. Awesome. What other great tips do you have for us?
Sure. So sometimes you get in a hurry or you run out of time on Facebook, social media, and you just glimpse and see a post that you find really interesting, but you just don't have the time to sit right there right then and read it or listen to it in that moment. And so a feature that Facebook has is you can actually save that post and you can put it into what is called a collection album, and you can name those so that it stays organized.
Awesome. That's
So
great.
if it's a business tip that you come across and you want to save it because it's something new that you're wanting to learn, you can put that in like a business collection. If there is social media tips that you think would be useful for your business, you can save that post so that you can refer back to it later.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. That is so great. It just helps us to stay organized, right? Because God is a God of order, and so we should be as well, even in our social media. Awesome. What other, tell us a little bit more about this Facebook shop concept. I don't really know too much, and I think that we have some amazing women entrepreneurs that are going to take advantage of that in an amazing way.
Yes, so Facebook Shop is actually a brand new feature where you can set up your Facebook business page to easily purchase directly from there. So you're not having to, go elsewhere or go on a different website to purchase. They're trying to make it easier access for clients and customers to be able to have all the information, all the services, all the product right there.
So tell us, Dottie, with this new Facebook shop concept, how would someone who's a product owner be able to really get their product out there through shop?
Sure. So Facebook Shop is a brand new feature that Facebook has released within the past month, and they are trying to make it easier for your clients and customers to be able to have like all the information in one place instead of having to go to like a different website to order. It's just for easier access.
Awesome.
And so you can set up different products to purchase, like I said, straight from the Facebook shop, but you do have to change your template in your Facebook business page to the shop.
Awesome. That's great. And it sounds like Facebook will kind of walk you through that, but I know that you are also planning on doing a walkthrough in Faithful Ladypreneurs later this week, right?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Perfect. We will get to that here in just a second, but we want to kind of talk, are there any other tools or tips or techniques that you would give either on new Facebook features or any kind of features that you use on a regular basis that you're like, okay, you really need to know about this as a business owner?
Sure. So another feature that Facebook has come out with in the past month or two, which I'm really excited about. I have not seen it used a lot, so I don't think people know about it like they should. But it's what is called a hosting group. You can host a group video call right there on Facebook. If it's a small group of like 4 or 5 or 6, up to 10, you can host the group right there in Facebook in a private video call. And so like if you have a coaching session and there are 4 women or 5 women or 6 women, or if you're wanting to like, you have a few people signed up for a class that you want to teach, or like a live event, or a virtual Bible study, it's free with no time limit right now. And it's just making it possible for these smaller events where people would meet like in person can now meet virtually. So you can actually have the communication back and forth.
Awesome. Yeah, because sometimes like some people are just not as, tech friendly as other people. And so when you send a Zoom link, it might seem really easy for us, but maybe some people actually struggle with it. But if you can just start it right there in the Facebook group or wherever you're at on Facebook to be able to just make it easy for them, man, that seems like a win-win.
Yes. So if you find most of your clients on Facebook and you're in that platform, most of the time, it's just another easy access that's going to be right there in front of you instead of having to go to a whole new website.
Absolutely. And I love how Facebook just puts everything in the same platform, right? Like they think about it and they say, you know, which is what we should be doing with our businesses is, okay, things are changing in the world right now. How can I pivot to serve my audience better? So not only are we getting these great tips and tools to be able to use in our business, but it's a great lesson for all of us is, you know, Facebook is a huge corporation. Like it's incredible that they're able to pivot that quickly after something like this happens to better serve us, their audience, and their clients. And so love it. I think that there's so many things we can learn from that. Thank you so much for sharing some of these tools. Is there any others that you'd like to share with us in the last couple minutes that we have?
Yes, so there is Facebook events. Many of you may have seen it, may not have seen it, but you can actually mark it as online only now. You don't have to put in a physical address, and that is an initiative that came out of the coronavirus. So if you have not seen the feature, you may see it soon. You'll be able to charge for access to events with live videos on Facebook. If you've not seen that already, you should be here soon. And so think about, you know, the group coaching masterminds, different teaching opportunities that that clients are going to pay for. Again, they won't have to go to a totally different website. It will be right there.
Awesome. That's exciting. Good. Yeah, they just make it so easy for us to run our business through Facebook. So that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show and just sharing your amazing knowledge and experience and all those tips and tools that we really should be using in our business. So I would encourage everyone who's tuning in right now to look at Facebook. Even if you're not on it, get on it because everybody's on Facebook, right? Or Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever social media works for you and your ideal client. But not only that is look at the features that are in there. Play around a little bit. You know, Dottie gave us some great tips if you want to check out that save feature or the events or try out like with your friends, do a little group video chat and see how that goes. And then figure out what you can do to incorporate that into your business because God gives us amazing tools. And sometimes we only scratch the surface of what is really available for us. So it might be exactly what you're looking for right now. So Dottie, I know that you are planning on doing a live video in Faithful Ladypreneurs, our Facebook group, on Wednesday. And that will be basically how to use the new features, right? You're going to do a walkthrough of what that looks like. So if you guys are a little bit confused or not sure exactly how to do this, this is your gal to walk you through it for sure. And that's going to be on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Is that right?
Yes. Awesome. And I'm excited to walk you all through this and show you where exactly you can see these changes.
Yeah, it's perfect. Well, I love it. Thank you so much for being on the show today and just giving of your incredible spirit. I love this quote that Dottie has in the background here. And if you're just listening to audio, you can't see it. So I have to share it with you. It says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for men. And it's Colossians 3. What is that one?
Colossians 3:23.
3:23. I love that. So that's the thing is that everything we're doing in our business, even when it comes to social media, and I would say especially when it comes to social media, is that you have an incredible impact that you can make on the world. So let's use these tools so that you can make that impact because you're working for the Lord and serving your fellow sisters and brothers. So Dottie, any way that they can find you a little bit more, like how can they follow you or contact you if they want to know more about working with you or who you are?
Sure. So I have a free Facebook group, Christian Women Abundant Business, and I post tips and do lives within that group. Sometimes they are, you know, informational like this. Sometimes it's encouragement and inspiration, but it's just a place where us faith-filled women can go and connect and learn in a laid-back environment.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So check out her group for sure. And we will see you next time. Thanks for being on the show, Dottie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.